Most men talk too much. They explain. They impress. They perform. And yet, they are forgotten. Not because they lacked charm, but because they never created stillness. The truth is this. A woman doesn't remember you for what you say. She remembers you for the questions that made her pause. The ones that turned her attention inward. The ones that felt different, not invasive, not strategic, not rehearsed. In this video, I'm not giving you lines to use. I'm sharing questions to carry. 9 questions that don't chase emotion. They allow it to surface naturally. Ask them without urgency. Without expectation. Without needing a result. Because when a woman feels calm enough to be honest with herself in your presence, you don't need to be unforgettable. She will do that part for you. Welcome to the Stoic Love Wisdom channel. This is where we share lessons about love, real-life experiences and tips for building strong relationships. In today's video, I will share with you 9 questions that will haunt you forever. These may be things you have never thought of. If you are looking for a deeper understanding of love and how to develop relationships, don't miss this video. Before watching the video, find a quiet space and put on your headphones to feel every word I am about to share. Relax and enjoy this journey with me. Are you ready to start this journey? Let's begin. Question number 1. When do you feel most like yourself? I've asked many questions in my life. Some were clever. Some were charming. But only a few had the power to make a woman stop, breathe, and quietly look inward. This is one of them. When do you feel most like yourself? On the surface, it sounds simple. Almost innocent. But it is not a question you ask to impress. It is a question you ask when you are strong enough not to perform, and calm enough to listen without needing control. Most men ask women questions to get somewhere. To entertain. To seduce. To move things forward. A Stoic man asks questions to understand reality as it is. When you ask her this, you are not asking about her job, her hobbies, or her daily routine. You are asking something far more dangerous. Who are you when the world is not watching? And here is what happens next. She pauses. Because very few people have ever asked her that. And even fewer have waited patiently for the real answer. At first, she may give you something safe. When I'm with my friends. When I'm traveling. When I'm relaxed. Do not interrupt. Do not correct. Do not praise. Just stay still. Because if you give her space, something deeper often follows. She may talk about moments where she forgot to impress anyone. Times when she wasn't chasing approval. A version of herself that existed before expectations, before disappointments, before compromises. And as she speaks, something subtle happens. She doesn't associate that feeling with the moment she's describing. She associates it with you. Not because you created the feeling. But because you were the rare man who allowed it to surface. This is why she remembers you. Not because you were exciting. Not because you were intense. But because around you, she felt unburdened. A Stoic man understands this truth. People don't remember who made them laugh. They remember who made them feel real. When you ask this question, do not rush to respond with your own story. Silence is not weakness here. Silence is discipline. And when she finishes, you don't say, "That's beautiful." You simply say, calmly, "I can see why that matters to you." That is enough. Because attraction born from peace lasts longer than attraction born from effort. And long after the conversation ends. Long after you are gone. She will catch herself thinking. I felt most like myself, when I was with him. Question number 2, have you ever loved someone not because they were perfect, but because they made you feel at peace. There is a kind of love people talk about loudly. Passionate. Dramatic. Intense. The kind that burns fast and leaves scars behind. And then there is another kind. Quiet. Unimpressive to outsiders. But powerful enough to stay with you for a lifetime. This question is not about romance. It is about memory. When you ask her this, you are not asking if she has loved before. You are asking if she has ever tasted emotional safety. And most women have. At least once. Even if they don't call it love. She may think of a man who wasn't extraordinary. Not the most handsome. Not the most successful. But someone whose presence slowed her breath. Someone who didn't demand explanations. Someone who didn't turn love into a battlefield. That is the man she never truly forgets. A Stoic man understands something many men miss. Peace is rarer than excitement. And rarity creates value. When you ask this question, watch her eyes, not her words. You will see it. A slight softening. A brief silence. A memory she didn't plan to revisit. She may say, yes, once. Or, I'm not sure. Or even, no. I don't think so. All three answers mean the same thing. She is remembering a feeling she hasn't felt in a long time. Do not follow up aggressively. Do not ask, who was he? That would be insecurity disguised as curiosity. Instead, stay grounded. Because the power of this question is not in what she says next. It's in what she feels while sitting across from you. If you are calm. If you are not chasing her response. If your presence feels steady rather than hungry. Her nervous system begins to compare. Not consciously. But instinctively. She feels the contrast between chaos and stillness. Between effort and ease. And here is the truth most men never realize. A woman does not fall in love with peace instantly. She realizes its value only after she has lived without it. When you ask this question, you are not promising her peace. You are demonstrating that you carry it within yourself. That is why it lingers. Long after the conversation ends. Long after she scrolls through her phone at night. She will remember how calm she felt in that moment. And slowly, almost against her will, she will begin to associate that peace with you. Question number 3, if you weren't afraid of being judged, how would you truly want to live? This is not a romantic question. It is a liberating one. Most people are not living their lives. They are managing perceptions. They choose what is acceptable. They hide what is inconvenient. They become a version of themselves that survives. Not a version that feels alive. When you ask her this question, you are not asking about dreams. You are asking about suppression. And that is dangerous, in the best possible way. A Stoic man does not rescue. He does not fix. He does not promise escape. He simply creates a space where truth is allowed to exist without consequences. When she hears this question, something inside her tightens. Because she knows the answer. She just hasn't said it out loud in a long time. She may talk about freedom. About travel. About slowing down. About creating, leaving, starting over, or choosing herself for once. But beneath the words, there is something else. Relief. Because for a brief moment, she is not being measured. Not being evaluated. Not being told who she should be. She is being witnessed. And here is what you must understand. The man who allows a woman to speak her uncensored truth becomes permanently associated with emotional freedom. That is not attraction. That is imprinting. Do not rush to respond. Do not offer solutions. Advice at this moment is disrespect disguised as wisdom. Instead, let silence do its work. Silence tells her you are not threatened by her truth. Silence tells her you are not trying to shape her into something convenient. Silence tells her you are grounded in yourself. A Stoic man knows. Control is loud. Confidence is quiet. If you speak, keep it simple. Thank you for trusting me with that. Nothing more. Because this question does something few men are capable of doing. It separates you from the world that judges her. And places you alongside the part of her that wants to breathe. Long after the night ends. Long after the conversation fades. She will remember how it felt to speak without fear. And unconsciously, she will ask herself, why did I feel so free, when I was with him? That question will follow her far longer than any compliment ever could. Love, like a mirror that reflects ourselves. When you learn to love, you are also learning to look back at yourself. What are your strengths? What are the wounds that need to be healed? And understanding yourself will help you understand the other person more deeply. That is also the reason I share on this channel, to help you see love as a journey to nurture your soul. If you find these things meaningful, click like to spread that value. And if this is your first time coming to the channel, don't forget to click subscribe with the notification bell, so we can always accompany each other in the next lessons. Leave a comment below, share your true feelings after listening to this part. Who knows, your little story may touch the heart of someone in need. Now, let's continue on the next part of this journey. Question number 4. What is something that once hurt you, but ultimately made you stronger? This question is not about pain. It is about meaning. Everyone has been hurt. But not everyone has learned how to carry it with dignity. When you ask her this, you are not asking her to relive a wound. You are asking how she integrated it. That distinction matters. A Stoic man does not romanticize suffering. He respects it. He understands that wounds, when faced honestly, become structure. And when avoided, they become patterns. When she hears this question, her voice may slow. Her posture may change. Not because she is uncomfortable, but because she is choosing her words carefully. This is a moment of trust. She may talk about betrayal, abandonment, failure, or a version of herself that stayed too long, gave too much, or ignored her intuition. Listen without expression. Do not nod excessively. Do not interrupt with empathy theater. Your calm presence tells her something important. Her pain does not overwhelm you. And that is rare. Most men rush to reassure, to fix, to say, that wasn't your fault. But a Stoic man understands. Strength is not built by denial. It is built by ownership. If she chooses to share, she is not asking for comfort. She is acknowledging transformation. And by holding that space without judgment, you become part of that transformation. This is why the memory stays. Not because you healed her, but because you respected the part of her that already healed itself. When she finishes, pause. Then say something simple. Something grounded. It sounds like that experience shaped how you see yourself now. No praise. No pity. Just recognition. That recognition does something powerful. It affirms that her growth is real. That her pain had purpose. That her strength is visible. A Stoic man knows. People don't bond over being saved. They bond over being seen as capable. Long after the conversation ends, she will remember that she spoke about her past, without feeling reduced by it. And that she did so in the presence of a man who did not flinch. That kind of steadiness is unforgettable. Question number 5. what do you think makes a man truly attractive in the long run? This is not a test. And it is not a trap. It is a mirror. Most men ask this question hoping to learn what to become. A Stoic man asks it to understand what endures. When you ask her this, you are not collecting preferences. You are listening for patterns. She may mention confidence, kindness, ambition, emotional intelligence. Let her speak. Because what matters is not the words. It is the weight behind them. You will notice something subtle. She does not describe a fantasy. She describes survival. Her answers are shaped by disappointment, not imagination. By what lasted, and what didn't. A Stoic man understands. Short-term attraction is built on excitement. Long-term attraction is built on emotional regulation. When she speaks about attraction, in the long run, she is unconsciously revealing the qualities that made her stay, or wish she had. And here is the part most men miss. You do not respond by saying, "I'm like that." You do not try to align yourself with her answer. That would turn presence into performance. Instead, you stay centered. Because the true power of this question is comparison. And comparison only works if you do not interfere with it. If you are grounded, calm, and not seeking approval. Her nervous system begins to evaluate on its own. Not consciously. Instinctively. She starts noticing how you listen. How you don't rush to impress. How you are comfortable not being chosen in that moment. And that signals something rare. Self-sufficiency. A Stoic man knows. A man who does not need to be attractive. Often is. If you speak after she finishes, keep it brief. It sounds like consistency matters more to you than intensity. That's it. You're not agreeing. You're not qualifying. You're reflecting understanding. That reflection creates a quiet tension. Because now she is not just describing attraction. She is feeling it, in real time. Long after the conversation ends. She will remember that she defined what lasts. While sitting across from a man. Who did not try to become anything else. That contrast is powerful. And power, when calm, is unforgettable. Question number 6, if there was one memory you could keep forever, what would it be? This question bypasses logic. It goes straight to the core. You are not asking about happiness. You are asking about meaning. Most memories fade because they are tied to outcomes. Success. Failure. Results. But the memories people keep forever are different. They are moments where time slowed. Where nothing needed to be proven. Where the self felt complete, if only briefly. When you ask her this, something inside her softens. Because you are no longer asking who she wants to become. You are asking what already mattered enough to stay. She may talk about a quiet morning. A laugh she didn't expect. A feeling of being understood. A moment that had no audience. Pay attention. Because what she chooses says more about her values than any list of goals ever could. A Stoic man understands. People reveal their soul not through ambition, but through memory. As she speaks, do not romanticize it. Do not elevate it. Do not say, "That's beautiful." Let it be ordinary. Because to her, it is sacred. And here is where the question becomes unforgettable. She does not just remember the memory. She remembers how she felt remembering it with you present. Your stillness anchors the moment. Your restraint gives it gravity. A Stoic man knows. Intimacy is not created by intensity. It is created by shared stillness. When she finishes, pause. Then say something simple. That sounds like a moment where you didn't need anything else. That's it. No interpretation. No analysis. Just recognition. That recognition does something powerful. It validates that the memory mattered. Without trying to own it. Long after the conversation ends. Long after the memory returns to its quiet place. She will remember that she once spoke about what she would keep forever. In front of a man. Who did not try to insert himself into it. And that restraint will echo. Because the men who are remembered longest. Are not the ones who tried to become the memory. But the ones who respected it. There are things in love, only when we take a step back, sit down quietly, can we truly understand. I share these stories not to teach you how to love, but so that you can find the answers for yourself. If what you just heard touches your heart, please click like as a way to spread this positive energy to more people. And remember to click subscribe, because there are many profound perspectives on love waiting for you in the next videos. Now, let's continue the remaining journey together, because the most precious things are sometimes at the end. Question number 7. What do you fear most in a relationship? This question requires maturity. Not courage, maturity. Because fear, when spoken, is not weakness. It is information. Most people avoid this question because they don't want to hear the answer. They want romance without responsibility. Connection without consequence. A Stoic man asks it calmly. Because he is not trying to win her. He is trying to understand reality. When she hears this question, she may hesitate. Not because she doesn't know the answer. But because saying it makes it real. She may talk about abandonment. About losing herself. About being taken for granted. About loving deeply and being left with nothing. Listen carefully. Because beneath every fear is a boundary that was once crossed. A Stoic man understands. Fear is not irrational. It is memory trying to protect itself. Do not reassure her too quickly. Reassurance offered before understanding is empty. Do not say, I would never do that. That is a promise you cannot control. Instead, remain present. Your calm tells her something important. You are not afraid of her fear. Most men want a woman's love. But not her vulnerability. They want passion. But not the responsibility that comes with knowing what hurts her. A Stoic man knows better. He knows that fear, once acknowledged, loses its power to control behavior unconsciously. When she speaks, she is not asking you to remove the fear. She is asking whether you can hold awareness of it without exploiting it. If you respond, keep it grounded. It makes sense that you'd feel that way, given what you've experienced. That's all. No fixing. No promises. Just respect. That respect creates a quiet form of safety. Because safety is not built on guarantees. It is built on consistency of presence. Long after the conversation ends. She will remember that she named her deepest fear. And nothing collapsed. She was not judged. She was not rushed. She was not diminished. She will remember the man who stayed steady. While she spoke about what scares her most. And that steadiness will follow her. Because the man who can face fear without reacting to it. Is a man who can be trusted with intimacy. Question number 8, have you ever felt like you gave more than you received? This question is quiet. But it carries weight. Not because it accuses. But because it recognizes something most people endure in silence. Giving more than you receive is not always a mistake. Sometimes it is a phase. Sometimes it is love. And sometimes, it is a slow erosion of self-respect. A Stoic man asks this question without bitterness. Without resentment. Without needing to be right. Because he understands. Imbalance is not created overnight. It is created when needs go unspoken for too long. When she hears this question, her response may be subtle. She may say, maybe. Sometimes. Or she may laugh it off. Do not be fooled by the tone. This question touches something familiar. Many women have learned to be accommodating, understanding, emotionally available. And often, that generosity was rewarded with expectation, not appreciation. Listen carefully. She is not listing sacrifices. She is revealing a pattern. Moments where she stayed quiet to keep the peace. Times where she explained herself while the other person withdrew. Situations where effort became invisible. A Stoic man does not validate victimhood. He validates awareness. He understands. The pain of giving too much is not that you were generous. It's that you weren't met. Do not rush to say, you deserved better. That turns complexity into cliché. Instead, stay with the truth as it is. Your presence says. You are allowed to name this without shame. When you respond, keep it measured. It sounds like you were invested, and that investment wasn't fully returned. That's it. No blame. No rescue. Just clarity. That clarity is rare. Because most people want comfort. Very few want understanding. And here is what happens next, quietly, internally. She begins to notice how you are not asking her to give. Not asking her to prove. Not asking her to explain herself. Your restraint becomes contrast. A Stoic man knows. People don't miss effort. They miss balance. Long after the conversation ends, she will remember that she spoke about giving too much. And was not told to harden herself. Nor told to soften further. She was simply understood. And that understanding will stay with her. Because the man who recognizes imbalance without exploiting it is a man who does not take more than he offers. Question number 9, if you could start over, what would you choose differently? This question is not about regret. It is about responsibility. Regret looks backward with bitterness. Responsibility looks backward with clarity. A Stoic man understands the difference. When you ask her this, you are not asking what she did wrong. You are asking what she has learned well enough to choose differently next time. That is a powerful distinction. Because most people repeat patterns not because they are broken, but because they never paused long enough to understand them. When she hears this question, she may smile faintly. Or grow quiet. Because this is not a question she answers often. Not honestly. She may speak about staying too long. Ignoring her intuition. Choosing potential over consistency. Giving second chances where boundaries were needed. Notice something important here. She is no longer talking about others. She is talking about herself. That shift is maturity. A Stoic man knows. Wisdom is not knowing what went wrong. It is knowing what you will no longer negotiate with. Do not interrupt her with validation. Do not soften the truth. This is not a moment for comfort. It is a moment for self-recognition. Your stillness allows her to hear her own clarity. And that clarity is deeply attractive. Because it signals growth without bitterness. If you respond, keep it simple and grounded. It sounds like you trust yourself more next time. Nothing else. That sentence does not judge the past. It honors the present. And here is why this question stays with her. Because after the conversation ends, after she leaves and life resumes, she will remember that she articulated her own evolution. In front of a man who did not rush her. Did not interrupt her. Did not try to influence her answer. A Stoic man does not try to be the next chapter. He respects the fact that she is writing her own. And that respect creates something rare. Not attachment. Not dependency. But quiet admiration. Because the man who allows a woman to clearly see who she has become, without trying to benefit from it, is a man she will never confuse with the past. And that distinction, that calm, grounded separation from who she used to choose, is what makes her remember you long after the conversation is over. Conclusion. These questions were never meant to impress. They were never designed to manipulate, persuade, or extract emotion. They exist for one reason only: to reveal truth. In a world where most conversations are performances, asking a question with genuine presence is an act of quiet strength. A Stoic man does not speak to be remembered. He speaks to understand, and allows memory to form on its own. What makes these questions powerful is not the words themselves, but the discipline behind them. The discipline to listen without interrupting. To remain calm when vulnerability appears. To resist the urge to fix, reassure, or prove anything. Because real connection is not built through effort. It is built through containment. When a woman feels safe enough to think, to remember, to speak honestly, she is not bonding with your personality. She is bonding with the state she experiences in your presence. And that state is peace. People do not remember who tried the hardest. They remember who made them feel unburdened. Each of these 9 questions invites her inward. Toward memory, toward awareness, toward clarity. And when that inward journey happens while you remain grounded and still, your presence becomes associated with insight rather than emotion. That is why it lasts. Stoic love is not loud. It does not chase. It does not demand. It stands firm, asks carefully, and listens deeply. If she remembers you, it will not be because you said the right thing. It will be because, around you, she felt free enough to meet herself honestly. And that is something very few men ever offer. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope you have found useful lessons about love and relationships. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. I really appreciate your support and will continue to bring valuable content in the next videos. Please continue to accompany me on my journey to learn about love and relationships. See you again and wish you happiness.